we're on the air. Live and in stereo.
Why were you looking at Legos last night?
I was at Target.
For those of you just tuning in, because it should be everyone, because we just started recording, Roman said he was just looking at Legos last night.
I was at Target with my firstborn,
Yeah.
and we were there to return things.
Oh,
We
hate having too much
We
things.
bought some clothes for the kids, and turns out it was too big. Basically, we bought clothes especially for a photo shoot that we did with our children.
Oh man!
Did I show you the pictures?
You showed me one picture.
Yeah. So
and it's the best picture
basically,
I've ever seen.
I wanted to buck the trend, buck the system of everyone trying to do all these just perfectly Instagram family pictures. And I just think of when I was a kid, I had pictures, like I can remember the pictures of us on mom's wall.
Yeah, our school pictures of
Not even school pictures. I'm talking about like when we were like a baby. And
the
I'm
one
sitting
where,
there
like,
in a theme. I'm in like a bow tie as a 2-year-old
with the
with
blocks
a great
and,
background.
yeah.
That's like a cheesy background. So I wanted the cheesiest pictures possible of our little baby and children.
And one of the pictures that I saw is the single best picture I've seen of a kid in a long time.
So I went to a place called Moto Photo
Moto Photo.
that still do the classic cheesy
Moto.
backgrounds. Shout out to Moto Photo.
This is not sponsored by them.
But we had the gray background that's kind of splotchy. We had that one, and then we did one where it's just a nice white background, and she had like a little parasol with like a little like carriage and a giant pitcher.
The pitcher.
A giant pitcher. So it's kind of like a old, like a Elizabethan period piece theme. I wanted it to be themed. I said more props the better. Give me the cheesiest picture imaginable. And they delivered, and it was very cheesy and very adorable.
Yeah, it was adorable.
Ultimate cheese. Give me more cheese, I say.
That's what I always say. Well, that was it was very funny. Very funny.
I'm not interested in your Visco cam filter.
Nobody's using.
I'm not interested in your cool Visco cam filter.
Are they still doing Visco?
Give me
cam?
that glamour lighting. I want my kid, a full body picture of my kid with their head floating, disembodied, feathered edges around.
Is there one of those?
I'll have to make it. If I could make it though, and that would be great.
Man, it'd be amazing. Yeah, definitely do that. That's a must.
So we bought clothes for that photo shoot,
and then
tried them on at home. Logan's blazer doesn't
big.
fit. We bought him a blazer.
Too big's never been a problem for clothes for my kid. He's a giant, and he just grows out of everything so fast.
He is rather large.
And then when you buy things that you think would fit him, they're too small.
So you got to buy
a giant.
How many sizes up from his age? Because you got the 2T, you got 3T, you got the 4T, you got 6T.
There's not a 6T.
You 8T?
There's not a 6T, but he's 5T. Most times. But a lot of his shirts are 4T, so it's a big problem.
Got that belly out?
No, not quite. But it is tight. It is a little tight, you know?
So we were at Target returning that stuff and caught wind of the Lego aisle. And I hadn't been on Lego aisle in a while. And I'm like, I'm going to check it out. Maybe I'll get a little something. But I look at those prices.
You did not.
I look at those prices.
And then you were
rake it in hand over fist. This is a tiny, it looks like it's like a little thing that has maybe 10 pieces. I don't know. And it's like a little mushroom from Mario. And it's like $15 or something, $10.
I mean, I don't know
Steep,
what mushroom
man.
from Mario you're talking about.
I don't know. That was an example.
Okay.
A small vehicle, a small car that the box is the size of an apple.
Yeah, I love those.
And it's $10.
$10.
You know what else I'd be getting for $10? So tell people everything.
Whataburger. Whatever you ate at Whataburger today.
You always telling my dirty secrets.
It's because you're always eating so terribly before this.
To be fair, this is the only time I eat Whataburger or Cane's is when I'm previous to recording with you.
I do,
because you bring out the worst.
I do think it's hilarious, though.
It's a running joke at this point, so I'm only doing it for the joke.
We went and bought a grilled chicken, and he ate Whataburger.
It's not a grilled chicken; it's a rotisserie chicken. Thank you.
I don't know
for
the
a
difference.
sketch that we are hopefully going to shoot,
and you may see one day. So if you see a grilled chicken, and by grilled I mean rotist, then you will. You will.
Do you ever go to the rotisserie chicken? You ever get that?
I mean, sometimes, often, probably.
You do? I mean, probably.
I don't. My wife does. I mean,
buy a rotisserie chicken, take it home, eat it. You do
I
this
don't
one?
just do that by myself. I feel like you do that by yourself, and that's what you're asking. I never do that by myself.
Yeah, occasionally it's I would go for lunch instead of going to like Payway. I would just go to Reese's, the local supermarket,
And then just
get myself a rotisserie chicken for $7.
eat it with no utensils and go back to work.
I have done that a couple times,
Yeah.
and it's very messy, very greasy.
Yeah.
But typically, I'll just take it home and cut it up and
That's
eat
good.
it.
That's good. I
have eaten a whole chicken when I was especially hungry. I ate the whole chicken,
Ooh.
Just-
oh,
the whole thing.
my.
We're talking 2 breasts, 2 thighs, 2 legs, 2 wings, and the little bit on the underside
And
that
the beak.
has some meat.
I'm a turkey Sammy boy. Most times that I'm eating lunch, I'm eating a turkey Sammy.
All those carbs, though, you know,
From what?
the bread.
What?
That's 0 carb whenever I'm eating my full chicken.
Do I look like I'm concerned about carbs?
Well, okay, tell me about your ideal turkey sandwich. Paint me a word picture. Ideal, and then I'll do mine.
Okay, because recently it's changed a little bit. We've gotten this turkey from Sprouts. It's like an oven roast, something along.
Talking boar's head?
I'm talking probably. I don't know. I don't think it's boar's head. It's the meat. The meat. I don't know how to describe this in a less gross way. The meat's a little bit wet. It's a little juicy. It's like a juicy meat. And my problem with most turkey
You
sandwiches.
say moist in those scenarios.
Okay.
You don't say wet.
It's
But moist.
you can go touch the turkey right now. It's wet.
Is that good though?
I mean, it's the best turkey I've had on a turkey sandwich in a while.
Does it taste like Thanksgiving
What
turkey?
I don't like is Thanksgiving turkey taste.
I'm the opposite.
I don't like the dry turkey taste that
You want
needs
wet
something.
turkey.
I want a moist turkey cutlet.
You're a moist boy.
we so we get it sliced. We don't get it shredded. If you're getting shredded turkey, I can't do this.
What do you mean? They don't shred turkey at the deli.
They will shred the turkey. They will give you like shredded turkey.
Oh.
Lorinda used to do it. She used to get
Okay,
shredded
so
turkey.
we talking
I'll
how thick of a slice?
I mean, it's just a normally
Sandwich slice.
Sandwich.
Because they'll ask you how thick. Sometimes you're like, I don't know. You're the professional here. What do you think I should do?
You just do it, and I'll act like it's okay.
But there's a numbering system.
So
you can say like, give me a 4.
So it's just a normal sandwich slice turkey. So my ideal sandwich. Here's what I do. I take the bread.
What kind of bread? You gotta paint me a word picture.
It's not artesian. I don't get that far into it. I don't make my own bread.
Talking Great Value? White wheat? What is it? Rye?
Honey wheat probably.
Honey wheat?
No, not honey wheat.
The cheap stuff or the good stuff?
Nature's
Dave's?
honey. I don't know. It's bread, Roman.
Are you talking Nature's Way?
Nature's Way.
I think that's the brand.
Maybe I could go get it, but it doesn't seem important to this podcast. But I'll take my normal bread that's honey-ish, and I'll take 2 pieces that are perfectly the same size, and I'll drop them out from the bottom. Whoosh, they fall on either side.
Would you ever consider eating one where one of them's a heel?
No, God, no. That's disgusting. I
Never.
just wouldn't eat a sandwich.
Wow.
Anyway,
Powerful
so then I
stuff.
put mayo on either side. Light spread. You don't want to get too much mayo, but you also don't want bread to still be seen.
Is this real mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
It is real mayonnaise with olive oil in it, infused into.
So it's healthier.
I don't think
They
so.
make you think it's healthier.
I don't think so, but it's the kind that I have grown accustomed to. And so you spread that. You get your Colby Jack cheese. You get a slice for each side. You put it directly onto the bread mayonnaise, and then they're open, right? You got one on either side. Okay, so I take. It's like, so these slices are like, we're talking like long slices.
These are the long boys.
Long slices. And so I'll take one of them, fold it. It's roughly the same size as the piece of bread that I use. I'll put that on one side. I'll take another slice, fold it, put that on the other side. Then I take one more slice, fold it, rip it down the middle, just like a piece of paper. Put one on either side.
So you're talking 6 layers of meat.
I'm talking 6 layers of meat, always. And no more, no less.
You've experimented with more and less?
Yes.
6
and then I
layers
put
is
a
the
piece of
perfect amount.
cheese right in the middle sometimes.
3 pieces of cheese.
Sometimes. if I'm feeling
Cheesy?
if I'm feeling cheesy. But most if I'm
Why
not
don't you ever consider switching up the cheese, doing like a like a pepper jack in the middle of it? Hold on, what kind of cheese did we talk
Colby
about?
Jack.
Colby Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
the mother of all sandwich cheeses. It's great value. But but that's
You
like,
never get at the deli? Just say, slice me up some fresh cheese?
no.
You got to get the
I guess
prepackaged.
I've not thought that was an option, I guess, until just now.
Oh, yeah. They give you cheese,
At Reese's, there's a cheese master. It literally, they wear a shirt here in Owasso. They wear a shirt that says Cheese Master.
You know he's on a power trip about
And I'm
that.
like,
you know he's like, hey, come see the
just-
cheese master.
Just sell me that shirt, guy.
He's like, you asked for a stinky cheese. And
You're going to want some of that.
You're going to want some Gouda.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Gouda's a stinky cheese.
I don't know, but he knows his cheese. That's one that
You ever kind of experiment with cheeses?
No, I'm not adventurous when it comes to
You're
cheeses.
not a fancy cheese guy?
I'll eat some fancy cheese, but for the most part, the classics are classic for a reason. It's because the other cheeses are kind of weird. They've got weird
it gets
tangs.
it gets out there.
Yeah.
I did recently
The what does mom have? She has like
goat cheese roll.
the goat cheese roll that has like
Fruit around it.
some sort of fruit around it. Tell me more about this cheese that I love so much. Dip some crackers into it. It's the best.
I recently decided
Mm-hmm.
every time I'm at Whole Foods
Okay.
or a place similar.
I never go to those. That's my problem.
Did you finish talking about your sandwich?
Oh, and then I put the breads together and I eat it. And nothing really special. Then I eat
You
it.
have so many things missing from your turkey sandwich. Okay.
There's nothing missing. It's the perfect sandwich. I don't know
It's,
what you're talking about.
no.
Oh, should I say that I also eat popcorners with it? White cheddar popcorners?
What is a
I'm saying popcorners, so
Popcorner.
you'll ask, pal.
what is a popcorner?
Oh, man. You know pop chips?
I guess, yeah.
It's like that,
But they're made of corn.
but they're popcorners.
They're made of but they're corn chips.
So they're like popcorn. Like, it's as if someone made a bunch of popcorn and then flattened it all out and made it into triangles. We can try some right after this. You're welcome to try some. I've got them all over the place. The white cheddar ones,
Maybe we'll do a taste test
the
video.
white cheddar ones are perfect. They're the best. But I eat some of those with it.
Well, let me
And
talk
then
about
Azevia.
Let me talk about my ideal
That's
sandwich.
my ideal lunch.
Your sandwich sounds terrible compared to what I'm about to spit, dog.
It's wet and delicious.
No. Here's what you do. Here's the move.
Tell
you
me.
get a good bread. Step one, not nature's way.
That's what I was-
Preferably make it yourself, which is what I do.
We get it.
I could do a honey wheat or I could do a sourdough. I've done both.
I understand.
You get your fresh baked bread. You put that out, okay? Mayo.
Uh-huh.
Mayo. On
So far,
I don't have as much of a method as you. I don't like do that like
I do
you
it exactly that way every lunch.
I put mayo on both sides. And then I don't really even have an order of ingredients, but
Sounds like a method to me.
here's the ingredients. You take a great oven roasted turkey, boar's head, one of them style. But I like the ones that taste like Thanksgiving, which is just oven roasted.
Can't do it. Honey smoked.
A good amount.
Honey smoked.
You sound like you got the amount of turkey right. Good amount of turkey. And cheese is up for interpretation. I'll change it up sometimes. But usually I'll get a block and I'll slice it myself just to make it hard.
It is good.
Aged cheddar
That does sound good.
is maybe a move.
Remember how Mom had that old cheese cutter that was like a roller with a weird wire on it?
I often have wanted one of those.
It's-
Anytime I'm slicing cheese, I'm like,
it's-
I should give me one of those cheese slicers.
I don't know. It was just the best thing. Just
Probably still has it.
Dibs.
And then, so the main ingredients that you have, I agree with.
well, good
Some
job.
things you're missing though are
Avocado.
shredded romaine lettuce.
Oh yeah, I should probably put spinach on mine.
Shredded
That'd be
romaine
good.
lettuce and tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, salted and peppered.
Gross.
Oil, olive oil, and vinegar go on top.
Ugh.
red
you're just
wine vinegar and
you're
olive
just
oil.
eating a salad.
And then if you're feeling crazy, feeling like a wacky boy, you put some red Doritos on that bad boy and take it to the stratosphere.
I mean, nacho cheese Doritos.
yes.
Or
Nacho cheese.
red Doritos.
People call them red Doritos. Don't
No,
act like
they
people don't say red Doritos.
Nobody calls them red Doritos.
When it's when it's nacho cheese Doritos versus Red Doritos?
No,
People are gonna say red Doritos.
most people just assume nacho cheese when you say Doritos.
You are so wrong. People say red Doritos.
Nobody says red Doritos.
Yes, they do.
I have never once.
The package is red, and the Doritos are kind of red.
Oh.
People would naturally say red.
They say Cool Ranch when they're talking about blue Doritos. No one says blue Doritos.
Whatever, man.
And if anything, they'll be more like they'll just lengthen it and just be like the bag that's red of Doritos.
But nacho cheese Doritos is the perfect chip to pair with a turkey sandwich.
I would agree.
It's
I would agree.
so delicious.
If you're gonna go old school, I just came inside after playing at the playground for a while. And I made my own sandwich, and you're going to put some chips on top of it and crunch it down.
That bad boy together. Ooh, and you got the.
It's gonna be nacho cheese Doritos or red Doritos.
Red Doritos up in there, and you put a bunch, you crunch it, and you bite it.
Man,
it falls
sometimes
out.
I would have been.
Nostalgic.
Sometimes I would eat those, and as I'm eating them, either I didn't crunch it all the way, and the full chip comes out. I'll put some extra chips in there as I'm going. I'm like, this wasn't enough.
Put some in there. Put some in your mouth.
Yeah, it's
bite.
the perfect. It's
Drink
the perfect.
a tall glass of milk with it.
Oh, gross. So hydrating.
But I was at back to what I was saying before about Whole Foods. I was there. Okay.
Oh yes.
I'm always going around. They got all kinds of fancy cheeses, and I was looking, and I thought, I've always wanted some of that $12 Parmigiano Reggiano, whatever you call it. You know, it's like cut off of the wheel.
Ray Romano.
Parmigiano Ray Romano, and it's like a chunk, and it's like $12 for a chunk.
You get like a triangle, like the little triangle chunk.
And I found a recipe that I wanted to make.
A sandwich recipe?
No, a pasta recipe that featured Parmigiano Ray Romano. And I'm like, I'm here by myself. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get that $12 cheese and make this pasta called cacio e pepe.
Wow.
If you're a culinary expert, you know what that is. It's spaghetti, pepper, and cheese. And that's it. That's the sauce.
That's the sauce.
Anyway, I got it, and I started grating it up. So I'm like, this block of cheese, I'm probably going to use this whole thing. I start grating up the whole thing. Turns out the block, it really expands when you grate it up.
Yeah.
So once I got like halfway through, I realized I grated like 4 times too much cheese
Oh, no.
than I was going to use.
So you put some of it
So I put some in the fridge, used the rest of it. Turns out it was delicious. Totally worth it.
We don't waste.
Don't get that shaker of Parmesan powder.
Yeah,
like
that
a
is pretty
scrub.
gross. I don't even think that's
fresh-
Parmesan.
Get the fresh Parmigiano Ray Romano is made in Italy.
Go to the cheese master at Reese's. Say, hey, I'll have some of your freshest Parmigiano Ray Romano.
Give me the most expensive one you have.
And he'll get you the right cheese.
Did you know Parmigiano Reggiano is only made in one place?
Probably
in
Reggiano.
the world.
Probably Ray Romano, Italy.
In Italy. It's because of some kind of minerals in the water.
Did you know you could buy a full wheel of cheese on Amazon?
I think I sent you the link one time.
You're the one that sent me the link,
Yeah.
but I was like, this is
And it's like $1,000.
and so heavy.
Can you imagine getting a giant wheel of cheese shipped from
Here's
Italy?
your cheese.
$1,200 for a wheel of cheese.
I mean, if you used it a lot,
If I made
it's like buying half a cow or a full cow for the year and putting it in your deep freeze.
that bad boy
Your
would
deep
make,
cheese.
that would make a lot of cacio e pepe.
Oh, ooh, ooh.
I tell you what.
Yeah. Hey, there's a restaurant here in town, Prosima, that they'll come over and they'll make your pasta on a wheel of cheese. The way they do it is
That's probably cacio e pepe.
they pour some bourbon on it, light it on fire, the alcohol burns all out, and it melts the cheese block.
Makes a sauce.
And then they throw these noodles on top, and they're just mixing it around.
They
boy.
put pepper in there?
They're mixing it around. I don't think so. I don't know, but it's a great meal.
Sounds like a gimmick to
And
me.
then it kind of is because they definitely make it in the back just without doing all of that.
All that fuss.
And it's still but the sauce is the bourbon and the cheese that is melted. The liquid melts up and it just makes a nice creamy sauce. And it's good.
That sounds great.
It's delightful. Prosima. This episode not brought to you by Prosima. I hate that we have to do that every time
I know.
legally.
Goodness.
Anyway.
Well, I suppose we should get into what we're talking about today.
Oh, yes, because we haven't.
We have not.
We have been talking for a while, and we have not.
We've covered sandwiches. We've covered cheeses.
And how we make said sandwiches with cheeses.
I thought you were going to fill that space.
I just wanted to. I wanted to see. I just wanted to see if everyone could hear you drinking that
creamy root
beer.
I got the creamy root beer Zevia.
You have.
Oh, sorry.
I can't believe you. You have 2 cup holders, and you had it on the table. That's good times.
So today, we're kind of resurrecting a format or a topic.
We sure are.
Kind of putting a little spin on
From
it.
season 1.
Season 1, we did an episode called B-List Villains.
Yes.
And this one is called B-List Heroes.
Exactly.
And what it is it's if you think of a lineup of 5 of the best heroes, but they're the second strings.
Yeah.
I was explaining to Cameron like this.
It took me a very long time to get
shot
these.
in the Avengers, whenever there's they're all in the square of New York City, and the camera is panning around. They're each kind of flexing towards the camera, and you see all of the Avengers. It's like that. It's like that group, but replace that group with heroes that are not really as good or thought of as being A-list, the best. Not your Captain Americas or your, Snow Whites.
That's not an Avenger.
Like your main characters.
Yeah, not your main character.
And it doesn't have to be superheroes. It doesn't have to be movies.
Most of mine
it can be
aren't.
It can be Winston Churchill, but whatever is the B list of him.
I got to change my list. Whatever's the B list of Winston Churchill.
He's definitely A list.
If there's one good president, it can be one of the other.
It'd be like
50.
instead of George Washington, it'd be like I don't know, like
George Washington Carver.
Is he the guy that invented the peanut?
B-list George Washingtons.
What did he invent?
He didn't invent the peanut. It was the peanut butter, I'm pretty sure.
He invented peanut butter?
I think so. That sounds right.
George Washington Carver invented peanut butter?
Or the printing press. I'm just kidding. That's Gutenberg.
Gutenberg invented the printing press. Thanks, Boy Meets
Thank
World.
you, Boy Meets World, for that knowledge that I'll never need.
I remember something about peanuts with George Washington Carver.
I think it's the peanut butter.
Fun fact.
And there was thousands of tries before he finally got there. Oh, wait. No, that's the light bulb.
How hard is it to make peanut butter? You just blend it up.
I know. No kidding. Peanuts, butter,
That
check.
can't be it.
He definitely...
George Washington Carver in inventing peanut butter? That can't be
the
it.
the 1,000 way.
We have to fact check this right now.
The 1,000 thing was Thomas Edison when he was inventing the light bulb.
Yeah,
because he said, I found out 999 ways not to make a light bulb.
He probably didn't even say that. What
Probably true.
did
You're Googling?
George Washington...
Guys, this is a first. This is for the first time in Two Brothers
Carver.
Five Things history.
This isn't for our list, though.
Somebody is googly.
This isn't for our list, though.
I know.
This is for the fact check.
Yep.
He was an agricultural scientist and inventor who developed hundreds of products using peanuts, though not peanut butter, as is often claimed.
What?
It was using peanuts, sweet potatoes, and soybeans.
To do what?
Invent stuff.
Why is he so famous?
What else
for utilizing peanuts?
That's his
I do that
thing.
all the time.
What do you think that he made with peanuts?
Peanut
Brittle? Peanut butter flavored shampoo? I mean, what do you...
I don't know. The fact that he didn't make peanut butter makes me question my whole education.
He didn't even make peanut butter.
He didn't even do that.
Because surely it was invented before whenever he was around.
I mean, maybe.
They probably make a peanut butter back in caveman days.
That's a good...
You probably make it by accident. You sit on a peanut.
I mean,
boom, peanut butter.
You used to... That is not how butts or peanuts work. Oh, there's peanut butter underneath me.
I mean, it would happen by accident. I'm saying.
You used to make peanut butter. You know it's well over. The process is much harder than just sitting on a peanut.
I have made peanut butter before. I didn't used to make it. I made it a few times.
That's a few more times than mostly anyone will ever make peanut butter.
And if you've never made peanut butter before, you should give it a try.
It's peanuts
and oil.
In a
blender.
And then you blend it. Now you got to get like a really nice blender, though.
Salt. A little salt, too.
See? It's getting more and more difficult. Now tell me, if you were to just sit on a peanut, would you make peanut butter?
I can't believe George Washington Carver didn't even invent peanut
I
butter.
know,
When
I
he just
can't
did
believe it.
other products with peanuts.
I can't believe that has nothing to do with our list.
He could have been a B-lister.
Could have been now he's even more B-list than I previously believed. George Washington Carver is no longer on the A-list for me. He was one of those guys that's like, famous historical figure, invented peanut butter. And apparently hundreds of other things you can do with peanuts.
He used soybeans and sweet potatoes for stuff.
He was a cook.
Yeah.
He was
basically Gordon Ramsay.
With a great brand manager. Ever
He's
heard
in
of,
every history book.
ever heard of peanut butter? Well, my guy over here has made hundreds of things with peanuts. Just not peanut butter.
Just associating him with peanut butter.
Ever heard of peanut butter?
He's peanut butter adjacent.
You want to know what else you can make with peanuts? My guy George Washington Carver over here can tell you. You can see why we would get confused.
Take it away, GWC.
Talk about peanut butter, then talk about George Washington Carver. Don't say he made it. Just let people bridge the gap.
Oh, man, that's funny. So we're talking about B-list villains.
Yeah, we are.
No, heroes.
Yep. Nope. Yep.
Not
right.
villains. The opposite of that.
Yes, this one's going to be much more.
I'm going to go
Uplifting.
first. We also have this is a fun display for those watching the video. We have put our list inside
No, tell him. Make him go look at the video.
put our list inside of something, and you have to come to watch the video to look on YouTube.
If you're listening, it sounds like this.
You could probably guess just from the sound.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll go first. My first B-list hero is Burt Macklin,
You know what
FBI.
sucks? Is there so many people that are only listening? They're going to be so mad that they have to go check the video for that. For this.
It's really not worth it.
No, it's not. Don't go. But it's too
I
late.
said Burt Macklin, FBI,
Ooh.
from Parks and Rec.
Great.
This
Great
is
hero.
Andy Dwyer's hero persona. FBI
Where are the president's
agent.
rubies?
And which is, we've talked about before, Parks and Rec is my favorite show
It's a
of
great
all
show.
time.
It's a great show because of Andy Dwyer.
Not
John
because of Andy
Ralphio.
Dwyer, but he is a great character in the universe. I would say it's probably because of the writers, if anybody.
Enough.
And if you are interested in
We're
little plug,
Roman, they're going to go listen to that podcast.
those of you
not
who are
this one.
super fans of Parks and Rec like I am, if there are any of you out there, there is a show
Yeah?
hosted by one of the writers and Rob Lowe called Parks and Recollection. Yeah. It's like a deep dive.
It is a very deep.
Not
they
for
go-
everybody.
They go episode by episode.
They go episode by episode and they say fun behind the scenes facts.
It was interesting.
I found it interesting from a writing a show perspective. They little tales of the writer's room.
Yeah.
Of the showrunner, how they pull off an episode, and I obviously do video production, so I'm interested in that space. It's really my excuse to just fanboy out on some Parks and Rec.
It's quite
And then Rob
interesting.
Lowe has the actor perspective on
Yes.
going through each episode
And how much one of my favorite things, there was an episode that did where Chris Pratt was on it, and he talked about. You could just go listen to that podcast, or you could listen to us tell you about that podcast. But no, he talked about like one of the things that like really got him the gig was like they thought he was improving super hard, but he had been working on this thing where he was like listing off a bunch of band names.
Oh yeah,
And it was completely things that he had already thought about.
It was scripted, pre-scripted.
He had scripted. It wasn't in any script, but he had pre-scripted it himself.
so he duped him.
And they were like, this guy and his improv
just
skills.
come up with things on the
he
top
just
of his
come
head.
up with hilarious band names on the top of his head.
Yeah, that is really funny.
And it wasn't improv at all. And it made me wonder, like, how many things do we think people are improving or coming up with in the moment?
Probably not as much.
All of my jokes, every night I go to bed, right before bed, I think of just a bunch of zingers that I can say the next day. Oh, man.
Same.
So we're all
One of the
clean.
best lines that supposedly is improv by Andy Dwyer is when Leslie Knope is she's sick or something, right? And
Got
she's
the flu.
She got the flu, and
pregnant.
and like it's like a very end of a shot or of a scene, and Andy's at the computer, and he goes, "Hey Leslie, I typed your symptoms into the computer, and it says you have network connectivity problems," which is such a good joke.
It's a
But
solid-
apparently, it was just improv.
Yeah.
but you never know. He could have written that.
I would imagine, based on the cast, there is probably a ton of improv that goes on in there.
Yeah, definitely. Amy Poehler's improv legend.
A legend.
We ever gonna put on an improv show, you and me?
No.
Night with the bros. Improv comedy.
Improv and prop comedy. If I can work on some of my prop comedy, I'll do it.
It's the best.
Improp comedy. It's where you have prop comedy, but the props are just there and you improv what you're going to do with the props later. Improp comedy.
I've lost interest.
My number 5. And I did go with the superhero, and I did this for a reason. The reason I'm going with this superhero is because I think he's gotten a lot of, there's been some more. He's become more of an A-lister these days because he has a show now. It's the Green Arrow. But I loved the Green Arrow well before there was a show, which made me very excited about the show Arrow, which came out on the CW a while back and is done now.
CW trash.
The CW. But here's the thing about the Green Arrow. I've talked about this with people recently, actually. It was great for about 3 seasons. And then it went the way of the CW, which is this is just a soap opera. And occasionally they put on a mask.
What made it great?
What made it
great?
Was
it actually great?
Well, what made it great for me was that the Green Arrow, since I was a kid, has always been my favorite superhero. And he's not even and in the comics,
I remember you
a
digging
B-list.
him.
I loved archery. I thought it was so cool. The concept of someone who was just so deadly accurate. And in the cartoons, whenever they had the Justice League Unlimited, I was super into that show when I was younger. The Green Arrow had all these, and in the comics as well, had all these special arrows. He'd pull out an arrow and shoot it, and it'd become a punching glove, and it'd be like, whoosh.
For a little less lethal arrow.
Throw these ones out there, flashbang, and it was really cool the way they did that, and I always thought the Green Arrow was so cool. Turns out though, he's just, and even in the same comic book universe, he's literally just Bruce Wayne, Batman, in a different color with a different weapon.
He's just a rich guy who
He's a rich dude.
Can hire someone to make him cool arrows and cool costumes.
So there's multiple comic book branches of what that side of things is. But in the show, what they explore is he goes off, he crash lands on this island when he's on his father's yacht. The yacht crashes. He makes his way to Lian Yu. I don't need to go that far into this.
Too deep.
But he learns a lot of the stuff there and learns how to make arrows and do things like that. Learns how to shoot there on this island. That's what the show explores, and a lot of comic books too. But
it's probably why you love Katniss Everdeen, right?
I do. I love archery. To me, is just a.
Why don't you ever get into archery?
I did.
Go shoot some
for
arrows.
a long time. I love archery.
Go to the range. You got a big backyard.
I should get some.
You could shoot arrows back there.
I could. Oh man,
you could have a whole course set up.
Actually, for Christmas one year, my wife got me a bow, like a really nice recurve bow, because I was super into archery and I was she knows I'm super into the Green Arrow. And I mean, I'm a guy, so obviously superhero has been something that it's a possibility. It's within the realm of possibility as a
At
human.
some point, I'm going to just go all in on vigilantes.
Yeah, I could be a vigilante. Like, that's why I think that's why like guys love comics. I've heard people talk about this. I think the reason guys love comics so much is it's possible.
It's a path.
It's a pathway that I could choose if I wanted to, but I choose not to.
Take the high road.
I'm going to take the high road. But she got me this really nice bow. Problem is, we lived in an apartment at the time.
Not a great place to shoot it.
It sure wasn't.
And let me guess, times got tough. You had to sell the bow.
No, I think I sold it and bought something else with the proceeds.
A board game?
I took it back. No, it was before board games even.
Pre-BG.
Yeah, pre-BG. Definitely was. But ended up taking it back. I got something else. I don't remember what the thing that I got was. But it was a really nice gift. It was an amazing gift, and I loved it so much.
You think you could bring it back?
I think if I got it now, I would have never gotten rid of it. I think if I got it now, having a backyard, having an area that I could shoot.
There's still time. You can get into archery.
It was like a $500 bow, and I don't think I would spend that on that.
Oh my gosh.
It was a really nice bow from Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro.
But I do
Not
love
a
archery.
sponsor.
I absolutely love it. And maybe I think I will get back into it because I just really enjoy.
We could make it content for the pod.
The first time I like really shot a bow and arrow, we went out to a place called New Life Ranch,
I remember this place.
sleepaway camp that we went to with our school. What a weird education we had. We went there, spent the night with our school and teachers, and this is actually it happened. It was really cool. I don't think schools do that anymore.
I remember also liking that trip.
But it was amazing. It was an incredible place. It's where my love for kayaking really
it's like a
started.
summer camp.
It's like a summer
type
camp,
thing.
but it is a summer camp, but it was during the school year, and it's when their downtime is. Obviously,
retreat.
So we were like the only ones there. We
Little
went on
summer
a
retreat.
Little retreat, but they had archery, and I just have this. I had this knack for archery with a recurve bow. I love the recurve because it keeps the tension the whole time. Whereas a compound bow, you get it to a certain point, you could hold it there forever.
So the $500 bow was a compound bow?
It was a recurve bow.
It was a recurve bow.
Which makes it even more impressive why it's that expensive.
It must be a nice bow.
It was a very nice bow. And I think looking back on it, I kind of regret taking it back because it was a very thoughtful gift. And
Was it green?
It was like a gray wood grain color. It was just beautiful. Oh man. I am filled with regret at this very moment in my life.
Hey,
But
get you a bow, and we'll
it.
do some videos, or we're shooting the bow.
you really think I could shoot it out here? I feel like if I miss, there's dire consequences.
Why? You live next to a road. You have a fence. How bad are you gonna miss?
That poor horse. I won't miss that
I'm
bad.
gonna go that far.
It's a bow and arrows. It
Okay.
depends on the pound pull, I suppose. how
My
far it
next,
goes.
my number 4.
That was a fun little walk. I didn't think I'd get that much. I didn't think I'd get that much airtime out of that
out of
one
Green
thing.
Arrow?
I thought surely I was going to be talking for like 10 seconds and back to Roman. Woo!
There was a show when I was small.
Is it the Green Arrow?
No, there was a series that played. It was a game show. Okay.
A Nickelodeon game show?
I don't think it was Nickelodeon. I don't remember what network it was. And it was actually probably on a little bit before I was born. Somehow I watched it. Maybe reruns. And I'm talking, of course, of American Gladiators.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm talking the best of us competing against the average of us.
Let's take some people that are not in shape and put them against bodybuilders.
People like Lace.
Oh.
People like Nitro.
People like Laser.
People
like Nos. I'm just saying a bunch of things that would
Diamond.
Sound. Wildcat, probably.
Those names are, part of them are made up. I know Nitro and Lace were definitely ones
yes.
of them.
Yes.
Nitro was like the dude.
I'm pretty sure Laser was one.
Laser, I think, was one
Yeah.
too.
But that was a great show.
If you've never seen the classic American Gladiator, how have they not brought that back?
I'm sorry.
How have they not rebooted
Hold on for a second.
Have they?
Can I? They did. And it wasn't that great.
You need the 80s fanfare.
I got to
around it.
press pause. They were the villains. They were not the heroes.
They're my hero.
They're your hero. Your hero could be
They were my personal
some
heroes.
villain. I'm just saying. We're talking B-list heroes.
You're saying you're tuning in? No. You're tuning into the American Gladiators. You're rooting for the Gladiators. The show's called American Gladiators.
I'm sorry. You were watching it wrong. The whole point is
watch the people fail against these alphas.
They're the bad guys. They are the bad guys. They are the
show is
competition.
about them. They're the heroes.
They are the American Gladiators. Are they? Are they which one's the gladiators, or are the people
maybe
that
the
went
people
on the
are the
show
gladiators.
the gladiators? Is everyone a gladiator?
But they played fun games like they'd have to run an
Trash
obstacle
can
course.
ball.
They have to run an obstacle course, and then the American Gladiators would shoot balls at them, which does not take any sort of physical prowess
But like
at
their
all.
muscles are just like
It doesn't take being a big muscular, dude to like shoot a tennis ball launcher, but That was fun.
The best ones were like the trash can ball, where they were having to like get the ball to the trash
those
can
were
in the middle.
fun.
It's so physical.
They did jousting where they hit each other with
yeah.
the padded things.
Those are great.
Yeah, and we when we worked at the youth group,
Oh man,
we put on
there was one guy that was worthy of
we
being
put
an
on an American
American
Gladiators event. Had it been rebooted at that point, or were we just
No,
pulling that idea out
we were
from the
pulling-
80s?
We were like, let's do this again.
And so basically, we did the event at the youth group, called it American Gladiators, just advertised the heck out of it. Said, bring all your friends.
Yeah.
You are going to compete against these jacked dudes and dudettes.
There was. Let me just say this.
Don't say any names here.
I won't say any names, but I'll say the first names. So like Andrew and Curtis. Curtis was he was a former
He's an
NFL,
NFL
player. Like he played football in the NFL. And he was good. And he's
Andrew
big
was like
guy.
a bodybuilder.
And Andrew is like one of the most yoked humans I've ever seen.
He's
that
yoked.
was awesome.
Yoked. He wore that shirt.
And then we get to the female representation.
we were scraping the bottom of the barrel for females.
I'm not even gonna say names because it was just like
We're basically saying who can put on an American Gladiators t-shirt and get out there and joust with kids.
It was pretty bad. It was a pretty poor showing from the female side of things.
Yeah, it was not great.
But
That was pre-CrossFit. If we was today, we would just hit up a CrossFit gym and
If
be
it
like,
was-
"Hey, any of you ladies want to get?"
if it was today, you'd hit up any celebrity pastor and ask if they want to join.
we
You
hit
got
the
your
ladies.
Craig Rochelle's. You got your Stephen Furticks. You got TD Jakes. All of them are getting incredibly in shape.
You hit up the ladies at the Burn and say, "Which one of you ladies want to come?"
Dude, for real.
Hit up the American Gladiators
For real,
youth
though.
group.
Their
event.
arms are bigger than mine.
So
They are incredibly in shape.
I loved watching that show. I think I just watched the reruns because I'm pretty sure it's from the 80s and I was
Yeah.
born in 89.
It was great.
May have bled over into the 90s a little bit though. American Gladiators. Bring
Yeah.
it back.
It's wonderful times. Now have we explained the ladies at the Burn? that's an inside joke between us.
I think
I
we
work.
have.
So for clarity,
think we have.
I'm literally thinking about it. I'm like, does anyone
Have any
is listening to
context?
this have any
Yeah.
context? I work out at a fitness facility called Burn Boot Camp, and there have been times where I've gone, and it's typically in the mornings when I go.
We've definitely talked about
There
this.
wasn't a lot of guys, but in the mornings when I go, it's like me and 32 other moms. I say other moms, 32 moms and me.
Just in there with the. So I always say.
So he says the ladies at the Burn, but all of like the fitness coaches are females, but they
don't mess around.
don't mess around.
They're in it to win it.
Yeah, it's bodybuilder status. It's crazy, but yeah, it's just to randomly be like me and the ladies at the Burn.
I think everyone got it from
It
context.
is a joke that we often go call back to. My number 4. How are we only on our second one?
We got to pick up the pace.
All right, you heard of firemen?
I've heard of them.
Okay.
Like red suits, chop down the door, put out fires, calendars.
Those are the ones. My B-list hero is the Dalmatians that work with firemen. Because, and I fact checked myself. So I was Googling before the show, but it was to make sure that what I'd heard, I'm pretty sure it was true. So Dalmatians, long ago, whenever it was horse-drawn carriages,
They pulled the carriages.
God, no. It was like a bunch of sled dogs.
For firemen.
No, they still had horses, and they had like a bunch of water on the back in like these jars. So essentially, what a Dalmatian would do, the Dalmatian would run ahead of the horse-drawn carriage to move people out of the way.
So if you saw a Dalmatian coming,
So if you saw a
said
Dalmatian
it was
coming-
always a fire dog.
It was a fire dog, and I'm nearly 100% sure this is the truth. I Googled it. Just kidding, but like,
Google never lies.
but I had heard it before, and that's what I thought they were for. But they would run ahead so people would get out of the way, so that the horses wouldn't get spooked and they wouldn't lose the water, so the people could get there to the fire and all the water was still there. But then once vehicles and sirens became a thing,
Dalmatian's obsolete.
Dalmatian's just basically a mascot now, which still a hero to me. But it's
Yeah.
that's an incredible thing. Dogs were bred to do incredible things. And mine are a couple of freeloaders.
Big time
that
freeloaders.
just chew on everything. Like the baseboards.
And you told me that your dog pees on your bed.
Sometimes when she gets a little spooked. Like
Which
when
is really- it's not
which
great.
is really easy to do. So like whenever my son will just burst in the morning, he'll just throw the door open and like immediately the dog will pee wherever it is. Just pees.
Well, that's not great.
It's not great because that happens most mornings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Dalmatians, though.
dogs were bred to do incredible things.
I
Like the
agree.
type of dogs that I have were like so Yorkies. They were bred to be
Kings.
no.
To be king's companions.
But they would like hunt pests like and like bugs and small rodents and things like that in castles, but for kings, yes.
Everything was for kings.
Everything
all
was
the
for
discretionary
kings.
breeding was for kings.
We were for kings.
Everyone, all the peasants are just trying to make bread for the day.
Yeah.
They're not worried about what kind of dog is going to hunt mice.
That's the
They're going to
truth.
eat the mice
They're
if they
gonna
find
eat-
them.
Hey, you find a mice before I do. I get it. Yeah. Was that Balto? That's a dog that did some incredible things.
No, he's not. Balto's not the hero. It's a sham. It's a sham. You ever
like
see
George Washington Carver?
Yes, very similar. Okay. You ever see the movie, the recent Disney movie?
I can't.
Oh shoot!
I can't even.
It's with Willem Dafoe, with the dogs, with the dog.
I've not. I don't know.
Oh, it's gonna hurt my brain if I can't think about
An
it.
animated movie?
No, it's a live action movie. I think it's something. Oh, you talk while I look it up because this has got it.
We are Googling more than we
This
ever
is gonna
have.
kill me, and everyone's gonna.
Balto.
It's
Malto.
the story of what actually happened with Balto.
I thought Balto like delivered meds to or
How do
delivered.
you spell Willem? Is it Willem?
Yeah.
But how's Willem spelled?
Willem. I only know that because of
LL
Mo Willems.
E-M. W-I-L-L. So it is. Willem Dafoe. Oh man, you got slow internet.
If you're are you on the internet or no? Actually, currently I am having some pretty bad troubles with my internet. But if you're not on the internet, it's even worse.
No, so Balto is got all the credit, but a different dog did the workload. They basically had to. There was a whole village that got sick.
I'm sorry. It's still a dog.
It is a dog, but there was a village that got sick, and one of the dogs who was named, or there was a sled dog team who went to fetch Togo. Is the name of the hero dog, and the movie's called Togo. You haven't seen Togo?
Why would I have seen Togo?
It's on Disney Plus.
I've
It's
hardly
so
seen Balto.
good. You guys should watch Togo.
Is it an adult film? Whoa. Hold on.
Okay. Hold on.
Not what I meant.
Chicka,
Not what I
wow.
meant. My question was, is it a kid's film? Is it a film for kids? Or
Avonlea watched it.
for parents?
Avonlea watched it and liked it.
But it's like a live action. What an unfortunate way I asked that question.
It's a live action. Here's the cover.
Oh, this is going to be great for our listeners at home.
You should totally watch it because you like dogs.
I do. I love dogs.
But it's the story of how this dog Togo.
This is not an image. That is a buffering symbol. Why did you click on it?
He was a dog that was old and he ran across the whole Arctic to save the children. And then he got to the final mile, and then another dog, Balto, swoops in and takes all the credit for all the newspapers.
Oh, so Balto did end up getting the stuff to the.
He just did a little bit of the leg of the race. And then Togo is
You
the
mean
real
leg of
hero.
the race? Weren't they running from the same spot?
Togo's a real hero.
I'm sorry, they were running from the same place. I'm
You
assuming.
just have to watch the movie. They weren't running from the same place.
Are you sure it's not to go?
It's just about delivery food.
It's just delivery. It's like Uber Eats for dogs.
It's a great movie. You should watch it. Next movie night.
That's probably not gonna happen.
My next one,
Yep. Number 3.
number 3. This is one of my and my whole generation will know this hero.
I sure will. We sure might.
Every time you turned on the TV, you could nary
Shazam.
you could nary watch a cartoon without seeing a commercial with a certain hero that says the following catchphrase.
Great.
It's great.
Was that really
You
Tony the
guessed
Tiger?
it. Tony the Tiger.
There is no way that's a hero.
Tony the Tiger is a hero.
In what sense?
He's my personal serial hero.
Would you stop making B-list heroes your personal heroes, whether they're villains or tigers that are peddling cereal?
This is my podcast. If I want Tony the Tiger to be a hero, I can
so
make
long
him a
trying
hero.
to think of heroes, and you're just like Tony the Tiger.
Would you say Tony the Tiger is
villain.
a villain? What would you say he is?
I would say he's a character, a salesman, a shyster.
Peddling sugary corn.
He's trying to peddle his sugary corn to all the kids in all the land. It's great.
But he was yoked, man. He was jacked, that Tony.
He was a tiger.
Everybody wanted to be like Tony the
He was a
Tiger.
pretty buff tiger, though.
He was out there playing soccer with the kids, and you're like, you want to be that guy.
Hey, Tony. Wait, is that
Hey,
one?
Tony.
Was there?
Hey, Tony. I think
I
it
like the
is.
things you do.
I think so.
If I could, I would be you.
You.
You're the one and only tiger with the one and only
crunch.
Taste?
Taste. You're right. The one and only tiger with the one and only crunch. Which is not because they get pretty soggy pretty quick.
It's not true. It's also not catchy at all. You were so confident. There was so much confidence exuded from Crunch.
Oh, the one and only tiger with the one and only taste. How's else does it go?
Great.
Great, Captain Crunch.
It's no.
Oh man, I did like Captain Crunch.
I was a Crunch Berries boy.
I liked the first few bites of Captain Crunch is great because it's still crunchy, but
Yeah.
then it gets soggy real fast.
I liked the first bowl of Captain Crunch. The second bowl and third. Oh, the roof of my mouth was just a bloodbath.
That's Captain Crunch.
What
That's
are you
Tony-
talking about?
Wait, what am I talking about?
You just said you like Captain Crunch.
Frosted Flakes. That's what I meant.
So in this scenario, your hero is he a
This
tiny,
whole time,
is
did
he a
you-
tiny pirate or is he a tiger?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man!
I meant Frosted Flakes is what I substitute everything I just said about Captain Crunch for Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
Captain Crunch. That's what makes you. That's what cuts your mouth up.
I know.
So sharp.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh man, sugar cereals. They were good times.
Oh man, what's your favorite?
Favorite one on three. One, two, three. Cinnamon
Lucky
Toast Crunch.
Charms.
Second favorite on three. One, two, three. Reese's
Crunch
Peanut Butter
Berries.
Cups. Third favorite on three.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Cookie
Crisp.
Crisp. I should have done the.
I thought you would. I thought surely you
I
would.
should have done it. They had such good commercials.
They did. They got us. Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs.
Oh, I
Peanut
didn't
butter
remember that one.
chocolatey flavor.
I didn't remember that one.
Oh
No.
man.
Lucky
The
Charms.
Cookie Crisp one was pretty great. As
Lucky
well.
Charms might actually be up there for me. I do love Lucky Charms.
They are magically delicious.
I used to eat the cereal first and leave all the marshmallows to the end.
Oh man,
I suffered through the
Kibble.
whole bowl of kibble to just have one euphoric sweet bite of marshmallows. Just that dry,
Euphoric.
weedy cereal.
I'm ready for school. Oh, there's so many good sugary cereals. I
We
feel
ate
like
so terribly growing up.
I feel like
My kids don't even know. They don't get sugary cereal.
We had some in the house recently. We had some Lucky Charms because anytime there's like a holiday coming up where we're going to be off of work for an extended period of time, or me specifically, not necessarily my wife, but like Christmas break, we get some Cap'n Crunch, some Crunch Berries. She really likes peanut butter crunch. Basically, we just don't want skin on the roofs of our mouth. But we had some Lucky Charms, and my kid ate Lucky Charms for the first time, and he loved it.
Of course he did.
And we never bought it since.
Of course he loved
He
it.
finished the box.
It's just sugar.
delicious.
Well, good times.
All right.
Tony the Tiger, you're my hero, Tony.
My number 3.
Never change.
My number 3. Good Lord, how long have we been talking?
We're at 54 minutes. We're fine.
Whoa,
We're fine.
whoa.
We're almost done.
All right. We're halfway through. We're literally at the halfway point. Percy Jackson of the Lightning
Here
Thief.
we go.
You say, hey, that's an A-list hero, but you'd be wrong.
I didn't say he was an A-list hero.
Nobody's thinking that because he is. Those books,
Changed you.
they gave me a desire to read, which is nothing that The Scarlet Letter or something about Okonkwo.
Scarlet Letter's about the Holocaust, so I wouldn't
It's not about the
I
Holocaust.
wouldn't make fun of it.
It's not about
What
the
am I thinking
Holocaust. You're thinking about Anne Frank, which
don't
I
know
would
what
love
I'm
to read. Scarlet Letter's about adultery. I was in 7th grade.
We highly endorse reading.
10th grade,
We highly
maybe.
endorse reading on this podcast.
But that's the thing, though. Reading's great. I believe everyone likes reading if they like the story to an extent. Most people just don't have the right
Yeah,
stories.
they're always pushing these highbrow literary masterpieces on you when you're
To Kill a
in 8th
Mockingbird,
grade,
things fall apart.
and you're like, "Yeesh!" I didn't read a single book in high school,
I didn't either. I wouldn't have. So that's what I was getting to.
which I don't endorse. I don't endorse not reading in high
My
school.
skill set that I learned was how to pass a test without having to do any of the work beforehand.
This is very true.
And I learned how to how to ask the right questions and get the answers from people beforehand. Were there any?
I plagiarized quite a bit.
I didn't cheat. I would ask people beforehand before the class. You read the book, right? Okay, yeah. Is there anything that stood out in the chapter to you? Like, what was the biggest thing that stood out? Anything you
like-
think would be in a test or anything like that? Like,
The mockingbird actually was not killed. Turns out.
yeah, I definitely flunked that one.
I think
would
I've
ask
read
them-
that. Have I read that since then? I've
The
read many
Giver-
of the books that they
I
have-
read The Giver. I would like to go back probably and read those because I'm like, surely as an adult, maybe they're
They're
good.
Newbery Award winners.
They had to be good for some reason.
You rocking through that book fair. You're like, yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Give
take
me some
it.
more. I was just always got the clean jokes for kids books,
Yeah, those are pretty great. Those are pretty
which
great.
makes a lot of sense.
I always just got a poster of some basketball player I didn't really know and a couple of
the book
pencils with erasers.
Yeah, eraser toppers.
Yeah. That's about what I got because I didn't
like
really
a
read
Digimon
much.
eraser topper.
There was a book about a bloodhound. What was that? What was that book series?
I don't know.
Remember that one?
I have a vague memory actually.
There's some
but
there's
no.
some book like that I got a couple of once. But
Finish your thoughts on Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson, it was the first. There was a book assignment that I couldn't wriggle out of. And they were like, "You pick the book. You got to go to our school library. You get to pick a book,
Dealer's choice.
dealer's choice, and you get to write a paper on it or something along those lines." And it was the first time I had read a book, and I was like, "Hey, this is pretty great." I thought, I actually enjoy this, and I wanted to read the next chapter.
I want to know what happens.
I
next.
wasn't bored out of my gourd. I was looking forward to reading.
If they would have said in high school, "Hey, read this book, hey, Roman. Here's a book you need to read and do a report on. It's a little book called The Hunger Games.
Man,
Okay, it's about
for real though.
It's about children murdering each other.
I mean,
Read this." I would have been like, "Sign me up."
but if they would,
reading's great.
If they would have given us books that actually had stories that we cared about, I probably would be an avid reader today.
That's a good point.
And-
there's
and
something there.
Instead, I thought to myself, I don't like reading because they were all books about adultery and sadly the Holocaust. And The Giver was good. It was
I
a
think
good
I
story.
tried. I think they made me read A Tale of Two Cities,
Oh yeah.
which is I've tried to read that in my adulthood like maybe twice. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't get past this is dense,
And-
dude.
Yeah, and then you've got all the
Dickens is dense.
Yeah, and then you've got all the Shakespearean plays and things that you had to read as well. And to me, it's crazy that they're having you read that as a student.
Can't really appreciate it at that point unless you're a certain type.
I absolutely didn't appreciate it, but the Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief series, I read the first one, and darn it if I didn't go buy the second. And darn it if I didn't go buy the third.
What'd you do after that one?
And darn it if I didn't go buy the fourth.
Let me guess what happened next.
And darn it, I kind of lost interest.
How many are there?
I'm kidding. I bought the fifth one. They're all right in there. I think there were 5. But it was a great book series. I was really into like Greek mythology. Not like a practicing.
Whoa!
I wasn't practicing worshiping Greek
I thought
myths.
you were a pastor.
Yes, but it was always really interesting to me, and the way they explored that. Rick Riordan, the way he got into that was really really good. He has tons of other books. Never read any of them. I'm afraid I'll like them too much.
Why is that?
I'm just kidding. I'm not afraid of that. They are geared towards younger kids.
You're like, I'm a little old for reading about this teeny bopper problems.
I don't know. I wouldn't read through them again.
Okay.
I would. But man, that they made me realize, and that's why they're really my hero. So I guess I'm saying the writer of Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, he's the hero.
Hey, way to go.
Number 3, Rick.
Doug.
It's still Rick.
But
yeah, that's my third.
Okay. This next hero.
Oh, is it a villain again?
No, I guess it depends on how you look at it.
Oh my gosh.
He has, I remember thinking this hero is the coolest.
Tell me more.
He has the coolest hairdo and the coolest outfit of all times.
Freakazoid, probably.
He is he's our hero because he takes pollution down to 0.
Oh no.
And I'm talking about Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Which until recently, or in my adulthood, I realize now is just a piece of environmentalism propaganda pushed on kids. Because I actually, I went and watched the theme song.
Yeah.
And because
says it all right there.
Because I hadn't, and literally every villain in it is like a guy in a suit polluting the air. And it's all about like how you can kick pollution in the butt.
Capitalism.
And it's like Captain Planet, he's our hero, taking pollution down to 0. It's like, why did I like this?
Why did we enjoy this show?
They're like earth, fire. They're like
love.
Rings. They're rings of power.
Wasn't there a heart?
Wasn't there Frodo's love? In there with like one ring to rule them all.
Stacking hands. Invisible.
But like I was oblivious to the
propaganda,
the narrative of the propaganda,
of
and that I didn't care.
He was just
he was a cool dude, man. He had cool
dude.
gray skin or green skin or green hair.
And it was blue skin.
Blue skin and green hair.
Yeah.
What's not to love? He had a mullet. He had a sick mullet.
He did have a sick mullet.
And he was jacked. And he was like, I'm coming to blow away this cloud of pollution with my tornado breath. I don't remember what he did.
I don't remember anything about it.
I remember him being pretty cool and his logo being pretty sick.
It's just the Earth, wasn't it?
Be
wasn't
a sweet,
like the Earth with like a ring around it?
Yeah. I think it was late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Just some classic progressive propaganda.
We were still watching Johnny Quest at that
time. So, yeah, don't recommend it because it's probably leftist trash, but if there was a nonsense alert, it might be going off right now. Anywho.
That's pretty rough.
Taking pollution down to 0.
And, I mean, we all know our thoughts on recycling.
He was all about recycling, Captain Planet.
I'm aware of what he was about. I'm saying...
Have we talked about recycling on the podcast?
No, because I don't want them to hate me.
Okay, well, I guess we're getting dangerously close to nonsense here, but that you don't recycle.
There's just too many trash cans, man.
I think there's...
if I'm having to sort my trash before I'm throwing it away...
I think there's significant argument and good data to back up the fact that recycling is a sham.
It's a sham. It's a farce.
It's a farce designed to make you want to feel comfortable about consuming more.
Buying more. Mm-hmm. So that... And you feel good about it because they recycle.
Hey, they're recycling this.
It's fine.
But the amount of energy that it takes to recycle a product, I think is the juice is not worth the squeeze, as it were. According to some statistics that I've seen.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
We don't. I'm not certain, but I do think that it's not worth it. I don't know, but like that's the thing that I've thought all these.
Oh, I know.
For years I've been this way.
Oh, I've heard you.
You were like gung ho about recycling, and then
I got propagandized.
he did.
I was a vegan. I was recycling all the time. I watched Captain Planet in my spare time.
How much life did you miss? But like if there's a recycling can right there, and
I've seen the light.
yeah, I will throw it in the recycling bin.
Eat the beef.
Oh my gosh, what a weird song.
It's
but yeah, so that's our views on that. Throw the shade in the comments below. We'll be sure to
let us
look
know
at
how
them.
you feel about recycling and post your most compelling argument for it.
I'm just saying, do the research. Just look it up. Follow the thread. All right, that's all I'm asking.
Unspool that thread.
I'm all about like preserving the environment and like making what we have better.
You won't find a bigger fan of national parks than this guy right here.
I love it. I think there's probably better ways to go about it.
I'm with you.
Than throw this in that can over there.
We should do a debate.
I don't want to debate anyone about this. That's dangerously
We're
close
highly
to
qualified
nonsense.
to debate this topic.
I know little to nothing about it.
It's just intuition.
It's intuition.
Gut.
Something in my guts. Speaking of guts, my number two is a guy who has referred to himself as Guts, a.k.a. Old Ironside, a.k.a. any other random nickname, because he's Burton Guster from Psych. Dule Hill. You ever seen Psych?
I've maybe seen one episode of
Sean
Psych.
and Gus, the perfect team. The perfect duo. One of the best TV duos of all time.
You're a psych head.
I'm a psycho.
You're a psycho. Is that what they call you?
Oh, man. Yes, it is what they call their fans.
They still making that show?
They will make movies every now and then.
Bring it back?
Yeah.
Living off those royalties.
James Roday and Dule Hill can't stop, won't stop.
Are they the actors?
They're the actors. Dule Hill is weirdly talented at a lot of things. Very good at tap dancing, a brilliant singer, thespian. He's just
wow. You're really singing his praises.
He's incredible. Like he really is incredible, and he's like the sidekick in the show. But as the show goes on, they start to like bring in like little talent. Like he tap dances in the show because he always did. And then they do a musical episode, and it's like this guy's really good.
You got to milk every ounce of talent out of that lead actor you can.
He's not the lead. I guess he's one of the leads. He's Gus of Sean and
co-star.
Gus. He's a co-star. But that show is amazing. If you've never watched it, it is wrought with 80s references, and it's very very funny. They're very good at the back and forth. It's a comedy.
Playful banter, as it were.
Yes.
Well, maybe I'll give it a try. Is it on any stream?
Have you never watched it?
I've watched it. I watched one episode maybe, and I'm like, I didn't keep going. Maybe I have to power through.
As it gets into like season 7, and I mean, really, as it gets into like season 3 or 4.
As it gets into season 7?
It is like a well-oiled machine that is like, they can't miss. Everything is funny. They're hilarious.
All right. Well,
they've got the guy
if it has your full endorsement.
They've got, oh, it does. 100%. They've got they have the guy from Tears for Fears. I don't remember his name, but he's like a recurring character in it.
I don't know who that is.
Kurt
Cobain.
Smith? I don't remember. But it's a really, really funny show. The comedy in it is gold, but Gus is the perfect character to play off of. There's this running gag where every time, because it's a detective show, he's a quote-unquote psychic detective that is just basically hyper-observant, and he notices a lot of things, but he plays it off as he's psychic. And then his best friend Gus also knows that he's not, but they're trying to hide everything from the police. But every time they go and do like an interrogation or talk to someone, Sean's like, I'm Sean Spencer, and this is my assistant or partner, and then he'll make up some really funny nickname.
Oh, I see.
And it's just like a running gag throughout the whole thing. It's so hilarious.
Well,
Also,
I'll
fun,
check it out.
Also fun running gag. There's a pineapple in absolutely every episode. 100% of the episodes.
Pineapple's one of the funniest fruits.
Yeah, it is among the funniest of fruits.
You're talking pineapple, banana. And what's a third? What's a runner-up for third place?
It's got to be kiwi.
Kiwi's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's that little hairy potato.
I mean, a tomato is the opposite of funny because you throw it when something's not funny.
It's very unfunny.
My number one is someone who I thought this is a hero. Okay, undoubtedly a hero.
Yes.
I thought this person was
Really hit that table.
the coolest,
Oh.
super cool, and
man. It's LeVar Burton,
a
isn't
bad boy, and it is
The guy from Reading Rainbow?
Tommy, the White Ranger / Green Ranger from Power Rangers.
Man.
Tommy was the
He
resident
was the
bad boy.
A-list.
Now he's B-list. All the Power Rangers are B-list. You kidding me?
I guess
They're
that's-
all B-list.
They were.
They're all B-listers.
Were they, though?
Yeah.
I'm just shooting holes in your list.
Tommy was cool. He was too cool for
Well,
school.
he's a ponytail guy.
Ponytail
He died.
in real life?
Yes.
Recently?
Very, very recently. At least,
Really bumming me out.
I'm so sorry. So look into the camera and say what you would have said to Tommy.
Tommy, you were the coolest, man. You had a sweet ponytail. In the Power Ranger movie, you like snowboarded, skydived, which I thought was really rad. You jumped out of a plane on a snowboard, which I never seen anybody do that before. You were my hero, man.
Yeah.
You were for the Green Ranger at first, but then you did something cool and you became the White Ranger and you became a villain for a little bit, but then we got you back to the good side. Man.
Wow.
Tommy, I love you, man. I'm sorry you're dead.
Yeah. In November 19, 2022. Very recently.
OD? Probably an OD.
He was the OG, is what you're thinking.
Sorry if
he was
you didn't
49
OD.
years old?
Sorry if you didn't OD and I just
Why would
Drag
you
your name
do
through the
that?
mud.
Why would you do that to your hero? Your number one hero.
bearing that much weight of heroship is difficult. And maybe he just couldn't bear the weight.
Man, I'm just reading up all about his death.
Was it what I said it was?
Did he fight in the MMA?
We've Googled so much
We're just-
on this show.
Basically, this sode is just us breaking our googly rule.
Yeah, it really is.
But was he the one whenever they were like the Ninja Power Rangers, like, you know what I mean? Like when they had like ninja
They're always
outfits?
ninjas.
No, but they had like cloth outfits.
That's every episode.
No, they had spandex episodes. They had spandex Power Rangers. I'm talking about the movie.
The movie, yeah.
The one
He
that
was
we watched.
he was in the movie.
I didn't watch the show.
He was the White. You didn't watch the show.
I never watched the show.
I watched it constantly.
I never watched.
A fun
an
fact
episode.
about Power Rangers, if you never heard the backstory, is pretty interesting because the dude who
we've talked about this.
on the show,
I think so.
the dude who made the show just got access to a bunch of like Japanese footage of people in outfits fighting, and he's like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. People in America would love this. I would like to license this footage and I use it somehow." And then he just shot the American scenes to make it match up with the Japanese fighting scenes.
That's why there's a lot of this.
And so every time they morph into their Power Rangers, and then it's just clips from a Japanese show of them fighting these weird robot bad guys.
And we bought it hook, line, and stinker.
And they just they shot the American side of it to match it up together.
You did a reference that I said hook, line, and stinker instead of hook, line, and sinker. I didn't mean to. I
Is that a
completely.
joke? Oh, I thought that was a bad dad joke pun.
It started out as I completely botched the phrase. Anywho,
Okay, what's your number one?
my number one has been in front of us the whole time. Luigi. Half number two of the Mario Brothers.
See, I think you did a little bit different than this list than me. I was thinking about
I was thinking about
Y'all
actual-
of yours are sidekicks.
B-list heroes. Not all of mine are sidekicks. The top two are
Sidekicks.
no.
Your side guy was a sidekick. This isn't a sidekick
Percy
list.
Jackson is not a sidekick. A Dalmatian is not a sidekick. The Green Arrow is a Lone Ranger, if anything.
Okay, yeah. Luigi's cool. He's great.
He's awesome.
You excited about the new movie?
I am so pumped. It's redonkulous.
Did you see the new trailer they just released?
Oh, I did. So much Rainbow Road footage. I can't wait.
To me, it looks a lot like Minions.
It's the same. It's the same company.
I know.
Illumination.
It's like you guys are going a little too Minions on this.
I don't think they're going to Minions. I think they're playing off of what they have to work with.
Do you think Chris Pratt should have been like, "It's a me, Chris Pratt Mario"?
No, because if you've ever played a Mario game and you've heard any talking, an hour and a half of that would be nails on a chalkboard.
be horrible.
Terrible.
It would be horrible.
It would be so bad.
You're right.
You could argue that maybe he should have been a little more Italian than Chris Pratt.
He's kind of a New York. He went kind of a New Yorker vibe, didn't he?
Yeah. But, well, I mean, like, what's the guy who plays Luigi is, he's from that Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's the guy that...
He's a funny dude.
He's a funny guy. His voice is really funny, but it's like...
He's kind of Italian.
Doesn't sound like Luigi at all. But Jack Black as Bowser, though, he sounds
Yeah,
so
we should
good.
we should take our kids to it.
Or we should just go by ourselves and eat all the popcorn we want.
I don't think I would go by myself.
No one can stop us. We're the dads now.
I'm not like super excited about it for me. I think Logan will really like it.
I mean, I'm super excited for me. I would say Mario and that side of things is really cool because it's a generational thing. It's a multi-generational thing is what I was trying to say. It's not just one generation. Kelly was the first one that our stepmom, first one that I saw playing Mario. She was darn good at it. Remember in Grandma Hass's basement?
I do remember.
They had the Nintendo, the NES, and I was like, "What sorcery is this?"
I think I played it before that.
I didn't. I had not played it before that.
Oh.
I'm certain I had not played it. That's the first memory I have of a video game system was that NES and that
Mario.
Zelda and Mario there. But then, I played it a lot growing up. After that, played Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers.
And then it went through a period of darkness.
The dark days, as it were.
The dark days when it was not as popular.
Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube, I think, was like the last one I played before they made like the new one, which is like a huge open world thing, which was super dope.
On the Switch.
On the Switch.
Switcherino.
Talk about a company right there. My hero is whoever's running the company at Nintendo.
Mr. Nintendo.
Mr. Roger Nintendo.
Tamaguchi Nintendo. Is probably
Wow.
his name. It's a Japanese company. Is it a Japanese company?
It is. My thing with Nintendo, I think I may have talked about this on this pod because let's be honest, we're running out of material here. But they're like innovators.
You talk about Nintendo constantly.
I'm a fan of toys, board games, Nintendo. I'm a child, Roman.
You are a child in a grown man's body.
I'm a child in a grown man's body. I won't read anything past teen fiction. But they were the first ones to do the D-pad on a
You've literally
controller.
Explained this probably 3
Have
times.
I in this podcast?
Yes.
First one to do the joystick?
Yes, you've said
First
the
one
list.
to do bumper buttons?
You said the list of
The
Nintendo's
first one to do
innovations.
switcheroonies? They didn't make it to VR. They were not the first to do that. But they'll be the first ones to get it right. I'd bet anything on it. I'd bet my horse. That's a phrase, right? I'd bet my horse?
I don't know.
I'd bet my horse.
Brothers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Brothers.